Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, guys. Celtic Warband here, and thanks for tuning in to another epic and historical battle on my channel. And this one is very special because I've actually received some early access to a new faction that will be coming out in the next update, and it is the Electorate of Trier. And I think that there has been a couple of Electorate of Trier battles that have been featured on YouTube, but this is the first one that I've gotten to do. And it's going to be historical in the fact that we're actually doing the Siege of Trier, which took place in 1433. There was two sieges that ended up happening over basically who was going to be the next Archbishop of Trier, or the next Electorate of Trier. And this one happened in 1433, so I'm not going to go into the entire history of the battle just because there's a lot to explain because it's really not well known. So take a look in the description. I've written everything down there that you'll need to know about this battle, but we're just going to jump right into the army comps because I'm sure, as you guys saw, this is a very, very long battle. I'm going to try and condense it as much as possible, but there is still a lot to cover in this battle. It was a very good siege, and it came down to the wire. So the first army we're going to take a look at here is the Holy Roman Empire, and this is commanded by Hohen Master. And basically, I'm just showing you Hohen's army first because we've seen the Holy Roman Empire on my channel before, and the other three armies are actually electorate armies, so they're all going to have new units that we'll take a closer look at. But he's got a nice setup here. He's got a lot of towers, a couple of rams as well. But basically in his front lines, he's got 5 units of these Pavis Ambretsützen. And they are a tier 3 medium crossbow infantry. They've got a poor rate of fire, but they've definitely got really excellent armor. So it's going to be hard for us to kill off these archers quickly. And then in behind, he's got 2 units of these Pavis Bergmannen, which is a tier 3 spear. And if we jump over the rams, just over to this side here, he has 2 units of these Landsknecht. And I was pronouncing them Landsknecht, but I found a pronunciation that seems to lean more towards Landsknecht. So basically pronouncing almost all of the letters except for the last E. So Landsknecht. So that's what I'm going with until I'm corrected. And then in behind for his main infantry, he's got the Ikotier footmen. He has 4 units of them. And then also on the towers, he's got 2 units of these mercenary Swiss halberdiers, which are really cool. And I love how they've got the little Swiss crosses on their tights, I guess, is what they're wearing, for lack of a better term. And then way over here on either flank, he's got a unit of mounted Ikotier as well. And we've got a bombard. He also does have a catapult way over there, but we've seen catapults. And then basically this is the general of the Holy Roman Empire. And this would be Ulrich. So if you don't know anything about Ulrich, please check in the description because I definitely have kind of spelled everything out. Ulrich von Manderschied, or Manderschied. Anyways, he's the reason that this whole siege is happening, so definitely check it out in the description if you want to learn more. But yeah, I think that's about it for the Holy Roman Empire, so let's go ahead and take a look at the next attacker. The second attacking force that we're going to take a look at is the Electorate of Trier, like I had told you about before. This one is commanded by Gearhawk, and if you're wondering why there would be archbishops attacking and defending, so it looks like we've got some Electorate of Trier civil war. Again, most of it is in the description, but basically Ulrich von Manderschied, he actually had support from some of the archbishops. The only ones that really were opposing of him was the actual city of Trier, which is why it's being sieged. But let's take a look at some of these units here. I guess we can start at the back, because I want to kind of just go over it a little more meticulously. But we've got the Archbishop Elector of Trier right here. And it's pretty cool. He's actually fighting with just this wooden staff, which is really interesting to see. But the unit modeling is very, very nice on this cavalry. I like the plate armor on the horses. And then Gearhawk, he's got 3 units of these Elector men-at-arms. And this is basically their flag here. Obviously, it's a I don't know what you would call it, more of a pious army, I guess, a religious army. But yeah, these Elector men-at-arms look very amazing. By the way, the actual modder who has done all of this work on the Electorate of Trier is Adrian Fox, and he is one of the defenders, so we will take a look at his forces afterwards. But I just wanted to point that out. But he was showing me a couple of things as we were waiting for the setup to happen in this battle, and you guys can actually see that he's added some of these little elbow armor units here, which is a very nice detail, and I'm not sure if you can see on these guys, but we might be able to see it on this unit here, which is the Dismounted Elector Guard, and they do look glorious. But I believe before, the leg armor used to be one piece, but if we can see through the grass, it's a little bit hard to see. We'll see later on in the battle. But he's actually split the armor into 3 pieces. There you can kind of see the knee armor is separate from the greaves, and then the lower part of armor as well. I apologize, I don't know exactly what the armor is called, but yes, very nice detail there. And then for Gearhawk, he's got 4 units of these Elector crossbow infantry, which is a late period crossbow. Again, they're basically just Pavi's crossbows, but really nice coloring. And then for Gearhawk's front line, he's got a mix here. He's got a couple units of these Elector Pavetier, which again have the classic Electorate of Trier colors. And then he has 2 units of these Elector Pike Infantry. There's the other spear unit. And then he has 2 units of these Elector Halberdiers. And they're looking, again, really nice. I don't know if these guys have the 3-piece armor. Yes, yeah, they do. So I guess actually these guys only have the knee piece. But again, really good detail that not all of them have the same kind of armor type. You can see actually this guy actually has 2 pieces of armor with some of the extra plate over top a little higher up on his leg, which is very, very cool. And, oh yes, sorry, Gearhawk, he does have 1 more unit of archers. It's just an Electorate heavy archer. These are basically just a lower tier, but they were allowed to bring 5 archers each. And then we've got some very glorious Elector Knights here. I'm loving the colors. So you can see them ready for battle, as I always say. And I believe that's it for Gearhawk's army. He's also got a bombard and a catapult over on this side as well. But that pretty much finishes up the 2 attacking forces. So let's go ahead and take a look at the defenders. The first defending army we're going to take a look at is the Electorate of Trier once again, but this one is commanded by Adrian Fox. And this faction is kind of cool because it's actually got a mix of Electorate units and Trier units. And Gearhawk has brought mostly the Elector units, whereas we're going for more of the Trier infantry and cavalry units because we are defending the city of Trier. But you can see kind of the difference. They almost the models almost look like the Republic of Genoa, but very, very cool. So basically, Adrian Fox, he's got 4 units of these Trier sword infantry of the high period, looking very nice. And then up here in the town center, he's got 2 units of these Trier Pavis infantry of the high period. Loving the red and white, very colorful. And then he has 1 unit of the Trier sword infantry of the late period. So, oops, sorry, I'm trying to get a better shot at that there. And for his archers, he's bringing 5 units of the Trier militia crossbowmen. So they also do have shields on their backs, but nowhere near the size of the Pavis shields. But I kind of do like these little kite-shaped shields. They look really nice. Again, nice modeling. And you can see that some of the high period archers, they do have the plate armor kind of on the shoulder, which is nice to see. And what else has he brought? That's another unit of high period infantry. Let's look at the Archbishop of Trier over here as well. I believe he's also fighting with a staff. So that's him there. And he has a catapult as well. Sorry, I'm trying to just find all of his units. These army comps are going to be a little bit more drawn out, but I'll put an annotation in the description if you want to skip it. He has 2 units of these Trier Pike Militia, which again look really nice. And then his most elite infantry over here, he does have 1 unit of dismounted Elector's Guard, which is awesome. Look at these capes, dude. Like, really nice detail. Some of them kind of got the saint on their back there. There's a little bit of dispute as to which saint that actually is. So feel free to weigh in the comment section. And I believe that's... Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, he's got 2 units of his Knights of Trier. And these guys look awesome. So they've kind of got the little bit of the mix of the Electorate cavalry, but then they've got the classic white and red Trier colors as well. So we've only got 1 more army to look at, and then we'll get the battle started. The last defending army is also the Electorate of Trier, and this one is commanded by myself. And I am bringing pretty similar units to Azrian's army. I've got 6 units of the High Period Trier Sword Infantry. So that's my main meaty front line. And then over here, well, kind of scattered all around, I've got my 5 units of Trier Militia Crossbowmen with the High Period, which he's brought as well. And then I have 3 of these Trier Pavis Infantry. So 3 of the Spears. And what else do I have? I also have a catapult in the town center. And I'm bringing one of the Elector men-at-arms. So Azrian has brought the dismounted Elector's Guard, and I've got the Elector men-at-arms. And yeah, these guys look really cool. And trying to see with this officer here, if we turn off the HUD, should be able to see. You can see the breastplates as well. Some of them have been altered so that there's different kinds of them, which is really nice to see that kind of detail. So you can see this guy here, he's got a different style breastplate than this guy. And you can clearly see the 3-piece armor here with the separate knee joints, which is really, really nice. And we can take a look at the elbows too. So there's a lot of different elbow ones. So there's one like that. And then they've got more of a plain one over here. And then some of them actually don't have any at all. And then this one kind of looks, you know, more plain as well, like the last one that we saw. So yeah, very, very nice modelings for these units. And Azrian Fox has told me that the update should be pretty substantial. So for all you guys that are ready for Medieval Kingdoms, a Medieval Kingdoms update, it is coming. So just be patient. They're making a lot of headway on the campaign as well. And without further ado, let's get to this battle. Alright guys, welcome to the battlefield, and this is going to be, as I said before, a very long battle, and it will be a little bit framey, just because Total War Attila. There is 10,000 men on the battlefield right now. We've got 5,000 attackers versus 5,000 defenders. Now, the actual numbers for the historical attackers versus defenders is unknown. I didn't find anything that would suggest to me the strength of the attackers versus the defenders anywhere on the internet. Like I said, this siege really doesn't have a lot of information, and what information I did find actually was in German, and I had to get it, had to translate it. But I do know that at this time, the city had 10,000 inhabitants. So I would imagine that the defenders would probably be around 1,500 to 2,000 men. So the actual historical allied versus enemy man count is probably not accurate. But yeah, like I said, long battle is 71 minutes still remain on the clock. I've actually already cut out over half an hour's worth of bombardment and setup phase. And like I said, I'm going to try and keep it as condensed as possible. Just if I see a lull in the battle where not much is going on, I might cut that out and then pick it back up where we left off. But yeah, you can see Gearhawk's forces over here. So he hasn't pushed his siege towers onto the walls just yet. He's actually got his archers up here. Looks like he's softening up some of these Trier Pavis infantry that have been sent up to hold the gate. However, he has taken a couple of losses himself. His bombard, I believe he has used up all his ammo. And these Elector Pavizier are also, they've lost 30 men, as opposed to Azrian's 20 there. He also has a couple of units holding strategic choke points. Over here, Hohenmaster, he's also sending some of his forces into the city via the siege towers. He's got the Ikochir footmen pushing forwards. Looks like he's got a couple of units already inside the city. He's also pushing some of his mercenary Swiss halberdiers in as well. And we decided that we weren't going to hold the outside walls just because there really isn't much point. I'll go ahead and put that on play. There's not much point because we do not have the towers anymore. Most of our towers have been destroyed. We do have this one over here that still stands, though, and it looks like Azarian Fox is interested in defending that one. But, yeah, Gearhawk, only got a couple of shots left on his catapult, so he won't be able to take down that tower. And I don't know. Yeah, Hohenmaster, he's got about half ammo with his catapult, and I think he's got a couple more shots with his bombard. Yes, he does. But Hohenmaster has captured the gates, and it looks like he's still ramming it, even though he captured it. Yeah, because it's Holy Roman Empire now, but not sure if that ram is still going to work or not on that gate, but it's no longer necessary. He's able to just push all of his forces inside the city at this point. And I've already got my couple, I think one of my units of crossbows is firing at this unit of Ikochir footmen. And most of our cav over here is kind of hidden over on this flank. We've got it kind of tucked in behind this building so that they are not viewable. As far as our kind of final stand, we do have most of our best units in the town center. Azarian Fox is holding back his pike militia and his dismounted elector's guard for the final stand. And myself, I also have my elector men-at-arms, saving a couple units of swords, a couple units of spears, and both of our catapults are up here as well. But yeah, so just waiting for things to kind of kick off here. There is a kind of a prolonged skirmish phase that does kind of persist through the entire battle. You'll notice that the battle is very, very cat and mouse. You'll see kind of some charging, then retreating. But I guess that's a tactical way to go about it, but it just ends up translating to these extremely long battles like this. So if you guys can't watch it all in one sitting, that's totally fine. I'm going to try and put a bunch of annotations in for kind of like first battle, second battle, third battle. So if you only have time to watch the first one, you can always come back later on and finish it up. But yeah, we've got some of these high period crossbows. They are firing up over the walls, and I believe that their targets are the Pavi's crossbows from Gearhawk's Electorate of Trier army. But yeah, these high periods don't really stand up to the late period archers. They've already lost almost 40 men in the unit. But Azarian Fox, actually, he's targeting the catapult crew, but the catapult is actually out of ammo at this point. So there's really no point in trying to get rid of that any further. But it looks like we've got a lineup of some of these heavy men-at-arms, and it looks like they're going to be charging in. And this is the first blood of the battle, so here we go. We've got the high period Trier. Are these sergeants? I can't remember what these are called. Trier Sword Infantry fighting the Elector Men-at-Arms. The Elector Men-at-Arms, though, are pretty solid, so they'll probably be able to defeat this Trier unit. But I don't know, it's hard, because Azarian, he does have his crossbows close by, so they may actually be targeting this very expensive unit to try to rout it off the battlefield quickly. The more polearms we can get rid of before the final stand, the better. Yeah, so it looks like he is pushing over there. Like I said, guys, going to be a little bit framey, and you're going to see my camera lag a little bit throughout this battle. But to be honest, there's really nothing I can do. All I'm doing is hoping and praying that the Three Kingdoms and Thrones of Britannia are much better optimized than Attila. But yeah, this was a misclick from me, so Hohenmaster's going to get some early first blood on my poor crossbows. I was trying to move them up a little bit to fire at them, but then I ended up looking somewhere else in the battle and actually got them stuck into melee. So I'm off to a good start. throwing my very important crossbow unit into melee against these I've got to really practice that name. Ecochur footmen. But yeah, there we go. Trying to get them back to the safety of my lines, but they're just being cut down one by one. But there we go. Getting in behind these swords. So yes, we did lose a couple of them there. That guy definitely lost his leg. But here we go. Yeah, so now I'm pulling my crossbows out to kind of return fire as the footmen retreat. And the pathfinding was a little glitchy. You can see they're kind of funneling into this little line before they actually make it to the safety behind the, I don't know, this little two-layered house here. So that gives me a couple of good volleys on them, which is excellent. But let's go ahead over to here and take a look at what's going on. So Gear Hockey is moving some spears in. Looks like he's got his bombard crew in as well, maybe using them just to capture the gate. But look at this, actually. So the Trier Sword Infantry actually routing the Elector Men-at-Arms with the help of the crossbows. So good use by Azrian there, using a cheaper sword infantry to get rid of these Elector Men-at-Arms. However, we've got some arrows coming down now. This is surely going to rout these poor Trier Sword Infantry that are pursuing the Elector Men-at-Arms there. Yep, there they go. So it's a even trade, unit for a unit. Probably both of them are going to come back. Yes, they are. But I think that it's a better trade for Azrian because I believe that these Elector Men-at-Arms are more expensive than the Trier Sword Infantry. But Azrian is pushing up a second unit. Unfortunately, though, they are taking some damage from Hohen Master's crossbowmen. You can see that he has them lined up here behind these walls, which is a pretty good position. And the rest of his forces are kind of just sitting outside. He is ever wary of cavalry charges outside. That is a classic move in Medieval Kingdoms and Medieval 2 Total War. I guess Total War in general, to charge out cavalry and while your forces are committed, kind of taking the walls to actually charge in and do some damage. So he's got all of his spears, his pikes, and his cavalry out here. So that pretty much stops any hopes that I would have had at charging out. Now over here, Azrian Fox, he's having a little bit of difficulty with his Tier 2 crossbow infantry in actually besting Gearhawks. Now Gearhawk, like I said before, he has the Tier 3 Elector crossbow infantry, so they've got much, much better armor. They've got the bigger shields. They probably have some better... I don't think they would have better range, though. Range 125 here. Range 125. Yeah, it's the same. But as far as armor, 72. These guys... 62. Really? Really? What's their... Oh, missile block, though, 80. No, it's the same. It's the same there. Oh, very interesting. So I guess I'm just crazy. Maybe Gearhawk just has a better position or something? Armor, 72. So they actually have less armor, these ones, interestingly enough. And less health. Well, the things you learn. So yeah, these high period crossbows should be doing pretty well. The only problem is that they're starting to get depleted, as you guys can see. But over here, it looks like Gearhawk has formed up his Elector Pavilier to face the Trier Puvvies infantry. So we've got like this little spear wall, von Spear wall here. But it doesn't look like either one is interested in engaging. But Gearhawk is hiding his Elector crossbow infantry behind the walls, or sorry, behind the buildings, and he's also getting some dismounted Elector's guard inside the city. He also has some cavalry, which is a good plan. But yeah, here we go. I'm actually doing really well with my crossbow infantry. These Ecochur footmen who are trying to hide behind these houses, it's really not saving them very much. The crossbows do seem to be very effective in an arc kind of fire. So just firing up over these houses, you can see that a lot of damage has been done here. All of this is from my crossbows. And I'm not sure if Hohen Master's crossbows are weak as well. Yeah, they've lost 10 men, which is not too bad. But yeah, I'm just constantly trying to shower his position here. He's not going to be able to sit here for too long, or he'll risk losing many more units. But yeah, he's also got his Pavisambrezutzen over here with another unit of Ikochir footmen. But most of his elite infantry is still outside of the city, which is probably smart. You don't want to get these mercenary Swiss halberdiers into range of my crossbows, because if I'm not mistaken, these guys, yeah, missile block is 30 and armor is 58, so that is quite low. That would be some easy pickings for my crossbows. Look at this, Gearhawk. Looks like Azrian Fox has pulled back that one unit of Trier sword infantry to block off this choke point. And Azrian is actually able to, or sorry, Gearhawk is actually able to move his Elector crossbow infantry right up inside the city. Now, I am firing, I believe, with my crossbows that are way over there. I think I am going to fire over here and try to soften up these units. But it looks like his crossbows are actually just finishing off the last of these sworded units that are trying to retreat. And there we go. Looks like we got the bombard crew breaking over there. And we've got Gearhawk is playing it pretty smart. He's actually pushing a couple units of his Elector Men-at-Arms over to the flank. So that's going to make it harder on Azrian Fox to protect his choke points. And he'll probably have to pull this sword infantry back and abandon that tower. I don't think he's going to be able to hold on to it the way things are going, but we've got the bombard crew probably charging back into melee against these sword units. Oh, they break just before. Oh, I was all excited to catch some good kill animations on the poor bombard crew, but yeah, I think they're broken for good. So it looks like Gearhawk is holding there for now. Don't think anything else is going on except for the fact that Gearhawk is just ripping apart my spears over here. I made another mistake and did not have them in stationary testudo, so that was my bad. And yeah, he is just picking them apart over here. I didn't even notice, and then I came back to this unit, and it had like 30 men left in it. I was like, what happened here? But that's why it's just so key that you have to pay attention to every little unit on the battlefield. But there we go. There was a return volley. I'm not sure if I'm firing over at them, though, or if I'm firing at Hohen Master's crossbows, which are way over there. You can see they don't really have a good angle, though. Yeah, look at that, going for my crossbows in behind there. Actually, yeah, it looks like they're not even facing Gearhawk's archers, so he's getting some good flanking fire. There we go, this guy is on the ground. He's begging for help. That sucks, dude, that sucks. Just a quick note as well, if you guys are wondering why the French flag is on all of these capture points and these flags. Basically, the Electorate of Trier has been built, I believe, over the French roster. But that will change, obviously, when the update comes out. That won't stay there for good. But, oh, here we go. We've got another engagement now, so it looks like Gearhawk has moved up his pikemen to actually give him the edge over here. Wow, but we've actually got some shots from Azrian's catapult coming over in this direction. But yeah, the pikes will definitely win against these Trier Pavis infantry high period. They're already tired. They've sustained quite a few casualties. I don't really need to tell you that, though. You can just take a look at the ground and see all of the red and white uniforms lying dead at the feet of these pikemen. And it looks like the pikemen are actually doing all the work. The spears are just kind of waiting there. But there we go. Those spears were easily routed, and Gearhawk is going to pull back his pikemen and try to keep them out of range of that catapult, which I think is firing from way over to the town center. And it looks like Gearhawk's going to push forwards his spears. Azrian's spears have come back from routing, but there's not much they can do about it now. And I'm just going to put this into slow motion here, because there was a nice cavalry charge from my cavalry into these Elector crossbow infantry. And they are very depleted. The reason for that is, I apologize I missed it, but I actually got a really nice charge here and routed 2 units of Hohenmaster's crossbows and a unit of a unit of Ikochur footmen. There we go. I had to really think about that pronunciation again. But yeah, I just decimated his forces over here because he didn't have any of his elite units. Now, I did lose a lot of my men because he was able to target the other 2 units of Pavi's crossbows onto my cavalry. But at this point, there's really not much else I can do with this depleted unit, so I did charge them into those crossbows. And as you can see, their morale is actually dropping as well as their numbers, so this cavalry is doing very well. And there we go, we've got the crossbows actually breaking. So well done, Knights of Trier. They did really solid. I can actually flip it on just to give you kind of a man count there. Look at that, 211 kills. So yeah, apologies for missing that. I was too busy explaining the French flags and I forgot that that was coming up. To be honest, it really wasn't a good charge. A lot of my men kind of did get caught on the side of the building, but it was just good for me to show you how much damage they did. But it sounds like the catapult is still coming down on this position here. So Azrian is firing over at this side, and here we go. My cav was broken, so the Electorate Knights were charging forwards, but they're going to pull back now under heavy fire from my archers, or my crossbows rather. But yeah, this is when I noticed this unit, and I was like, what happened to my these infantry over here? 57 men left. And then I was like, oh, yeah, they're not in stationary testudo. And you can see in the bottom left corner, I put them into stationary testudo. But, yeah, a lot of casualties from the Elector Knights there of the late period. And here we go. Hohenmaster has brought in most of his forces now. And he's learned his lesson. He's actually brought a unit of Pavi's Bergmannen over here, and he's going to block off this little pathway here and kind of guard his flank inside the city. See, he was guarding his flank really well outside the city, but not inside the city. But if we take a look at the man count here, it's been about 15 minutes in. We've got 4,100 men versus 4,000. So we've got about 100 more men than the attackers do at this point. But Azrian's catapult is being focused down. He's already lost 2 of them. So he's going to have to be careful not to lose the other 2, because he's got more than half of his ammo still left. Oh, here comes another shot from Hohen's catapult. This looks close. Oh, getting another catapult. Actually almost clipping both, but luckily Azrian is able to hold on to his catapult there. I don't think this will hit. Probably hit the crew, though. Yeah, slaughtering a couple of the crew members there. But my catapult is still alive, I believe, but I've lost... Yeah, I'm down to 1 catapult as well. Wow. Crazy, I did not see that. At least in the battle, I didn't see that. I thought that it was well protected. But yeah, we've kind of got a little bit of a lull over here, so I'm going to make a cut at this point, guys. And then once we kind of get the second layered attack going that would happen in these streets, then I'll bring it back and we'll pick it up from there. Alright guys, welcome back, and I made a little cut there. I actually didn't need to take out too much of it, about 3 or 4 minutes, but Gearhawk has finally landed his siege towers on the side of our settlement where we were talking about the tower, and he did manage to actually take the tower down, which is excellent, but unfortunately he lost a lot of Elector men-at-arms while doing that. You can see that they are routing here to the Trier Sword Infantry. And over here as well, his other units, the Elector Halberdiers, And the Elector Men-at-Arms, you can see that they've taken some losses from the tower as well. And they are also still under fire, and that is from these units of Trier militia crossbowmen over here. And those are some perfect targets for the crossbows. Like I said, the halberdiers having a pretty low missile block. Over here, it's still pretty much exactly the way we left it. Gearhawk, again, being really conservative with his archers, making sure he uses up all of his ammo before he moves in. And over here, this was kind of funny. You can see that we decided to move our cavalry outside the settlement, and they are hidden right now, which is excellent. And we were going to go for Gearhawk's forces, but Hohen Master, I think unknowingly, he brought his two, the bombard and the catapult crew over here, and actually captured this gate, and the attackers made no breaches in the walls, so we've effectively trapped our cavalry outside of the city. So we have no way of getting back in to support our armies, basically. So we're gonna have to see what we can do with our Knights of Trier. Hopefully that hasn't been in vain. But over here, it looks like Gearhawk again pushing forward some of his Elector Pavetier to try and take this watchtower. They have really good morale and missile block, but it looks like they've taken quite a bit of damage, possibly from that last tower that we looked at before. They may have had a hand in capturing that. But yeah, they're taking quite a few losses, especially facing away from the tower. I'm not sure if he's going to try and put them into stationary testudo. But yeah, they're kind of just getting shot down there. But that's not really anything exciting that we need to take a look at. Let's go ahead and look at this fight over here with the halberdiers and the Trier Sword Militia. And yeah, these Elector units, they look really nice. They're going to add a lot of color to the 1212 mod once they do come out. And I kind of like that, I to be honest, I never even heard of the Electorate of Trier before seeing these units. And I've actually done quite a bit of history on it, and the city of Trier is actually considered one of the oldest cities in Germany, dating back to before even the Roman Empire. And actually being the seat of a Roman emperor at one time. But yeah, these poor Elector Men-at-Arms, they're just really getting cut down. The Trier Sword Infantry are holding their ground, and I think that the Trier Militia crossbows are also playing a hand in their demise. But we've got some of the Elector crossbow infantry here as well, and it looks like Gearhawk is going to push another unit of his Elector halberdiers into the mix. Now over here we go. I think we just caught the tail end of this. Yes, we did. You can see the Elector Knights actually here for Gearhawk getting a really solid charge on the backs of these Trier Sword infantry that we're holding in this choke point. You can see a lot of them have gotten up, but they've taken some pretty heavy losses. Naturally, they are wavering, and they are actually facing the Knights now, but that actually, I think, yeah, we've got some more Elector Knights here as well that are probably just going to charge into the Trier Sword infantry there. But yeah, well done to Gearhawk. So really trying to even the man count right now. It's pretty much dead even right now, although we actually have 300 more men than they do. Here we go. Here's another charge, because they're actually facing the wrong way now. They're looking for the cavalry behind, but Gearhawk had another unit. And they should actually break pretty soon. But Hohenmaster, again, he's being a little more passive. He does have his Pavis Bergmannen over here now that are guarding the flank, like I had shown you. He's got his crossbows back there. But most of his army, actually all of his army, is inside the city now. And I think that they both realize that our cavalry is stuck outside. Now, Hohenmaster, he does have his cavalry inside the city, way back here by this gate. And it looks like Azrian Fox has his Knights of Trier over here. I'm not sure what he's planning, but Gearhawk, also has all of his units inside the city, so it's not like it's really going to be of help to kind of bring them around to his side. And again with Gearhawk here, getting another nice charge into those Sword Trier infantry. They were holding so well until the Elector Knights just mowed them right, just all of that energy from the charge just forcing them right forwards onto the halberds. And yeah, they're pretty much gone now. You can see a couple of them still standing, but they're going to be cut down by the knights as they retreat. Come on, don't just stand there, run away. Flee for your lives. And over here, looks like we've got some of the Pavis Bergmannen from Hohenmaster. He is planning probably to move in on my weakened position here. Here's me again with my terrible micro, pushing my archers into melee once again, which is really frustrating. I think that a couple of the units weren't actually listening to me. I tried to line them up right behind the spears, but they just kept charging in. But yeah, it looks like the Holy Roman Empire is finally pushing to get some work done here. Let's go ahead and see what's happening with this cavalry back here. Yeah, so Hohenmaster, he was going to push through this choke point, but I had a unit of Trier Sword Infantry holding that area. And also over here, we are well defended at the final, I guess, keep you would call it here. So there is no way he's going to be getting in. Hohenmaster, he has pulled back his mounted eco-cheers, but they are in range of my crossbows, so it might be a good idea to get them a little further away. This is a nice shot here from up on the keep there. Yeah, there goes the shots from the crossbows. Going to be raining down on the mounted eco-cheers. Eco-cheer. Yeah, I'm hearing some shameful display. I'm pretty sure. I think that may have been my archers actually that routed, but they did return to the battle. But yeah, we're pretty much already in about 20 minutes. We're pushed back to the keep already. Like we're holding some of the outer area here, but I'm kind of running out of units to be able to hold these outer areas. And yeah, still ever wary of this cavalry here. Looks like Hohenmaster, he's trying to get rid of this unit of Bastion Bombard here. I'm trying to keep them there because I'm actually trying to capture the gates back with them so that we can get our cavalry back inside the city. We've got Gearhawk's cavalry over here kind of just chilling, not doing too much. We got the Trier Pike infantry here kind of making sure that they don't really do anything. And I think that Azrian is actually firing at them with his crossbows. Yeah, there we go, getting some kills on the Elector Knights, but after they've already gotten 129 kills on our forces. But yeah, I'm quickly breaking over here. These Trier Pavis infantry are winded, casualties are sustained, but they're still holding strong. And I'm quickly getting a unit of Trier Sword Infantry over here to kind of bolster this defense. Oh, but what's this actually? It looks like the battle for the keep has already begun here with 40 minutes left to go. We've actually got some Elector Halberdiers and some Elector Pavizier that are fighting our spears. There we go. I love these battles for the keep. They're so cinematic. But we were a little bit concerned that they already had forced us back to our final stand, basically, because they still have a lot of archer ammo, and we have a lot of men still left, and very little room to move them in, so we're going to be like sitting ducks. if Gearhawk and Hohenmaster use their archers effectively. Looks like Azrian's got another true sword unit here, but the Elector Halberdiers are just pushing through. And looks like, yeah, he's going to move his true pike infantry there to help his swords out. And I think Gearhawk has a unit of pikes as well that he will send up very soon. But here we go. It's all kicking off on all sides here. So we've got these swords fighting these spears on this flank. And Hohenmaster hasn't moved in here yet, but I think he will very soon. But yeah, there we go. My archers doing really well, finally routing that one unit of mounted Ikotur. They annoyingly return, but they're so weak that they're probably not going to be able to do too much. And over here, the Trier Knights again causing some problems over here. Let's go ahead and put this in slow motion. He's trying to defend my crossbows, but again, crossbows not really listening. They want to get their little daggers wet, so they kind of charged in to help soak up some of the impact because I didn't want his pikes to break, basically. And we have to be careful because Gearhawk, he has some of his Lector Pavetier over here as well.
The men are running.
It looks like they're actually trying to chase after my crossbows, but they end up they do end up stopping. And it looks like the Trier Pike Infantry are going to form up to face the Elector Knights. But I'm surprised Gearhawk isn't turning around this unit to attack the pikes in the back. I guess he's worried that he's going to get shot by my Trier Puvvy's infantry if they do turn around, which they have. So let's see if I can get a good volley with them. Yeah, I do tell them to volley. Oh, looks like he's actually faced them, which is pretty smart. But yeah, there we go, getting some good hits against these Elector Pavetier. And here comes Hohenmaster's other unit of mounted Ikotur. And here's the Elector Knights as well, but I do get shield wall just in time to soak up that charge. And the spears have broken to the might of the pike infantry. Yeah, because these poor pikes are being attacked from behind by the mounted Ikotur. They're being attacked in the flank by the Elector Knights. And yes, here comes my general's bodyguard. He decides that it's time to leave the keep and to help the men. So he's going to be pushing forwards to aid these pikes. Because we cannot afford to lose our pikes, especially if we're already almost down to the final stand, basically, or our last layer of defense. And there we go. So they're coming to help defend the pike infantry. You can see that they're actually cheering, and my crossbows are cheering as well as the general comes in. Very, very nice. So now that we've kind of shored up this defense here, Hohenmaster, he's still trying to go into that true sword infantry, but he's not going to break through there. And with my general's bodyguard, I'm actually going to use him to capture the gates so we can get our cavalry back inside the settlement. Over here, we're still holding, but it looks like in the center we've lost one of our units of pikes. They broke. The Elector Halberdiers, looks like they broke, but they have returned as well. And we're down to 37 minutes in this battle. Let's go ahead and take a look at this fight over here. My shield wall holding against the Pavvis Bergmannen. And spears aren't going to be that good at getting kills, so I should be able to hold here indefinitely. As long as I don't get charged from behind again. Although I think at this point, Gearhawk is out of cav, and Hohenmaster is just about out of cav. They would just have their general's bodyguards left. Hohenmaster has Ulrich von Manderschied. So he's crafty. He wants the city. He wants to be named Archbishop. He actually has been... He basically put himself into the place of Archbishop, but This is why the whole siege is going on, because the city of Trier is openly saying that he is not the archbishop, and he never will be the archbishop. So Ulrich von Manderschied, he did siege the city once a year earlier, but he was defeated, and it actually bankrupted a lot of, well, he himself was bankrupt. He actually had to remortgage a lot of his estates and, you know, borrow a lot of money from, I think, the Catholic Church as well, just to be able to fund a second army to siege Trier. So, yeah, this is kind of do or die for Manderschied. If he doesn't make it in, if he doesn't break the siege. What am I trying to say here? Gosh, I'm trying to watch this charge here and talk at the same time. If he doesn't succeed in this siege, then there will not be a third. Regardless, he just won't be able to afford it. So Azrian bravely sending his very depleted unit of Trier swords to block these spears from coming up the ramp, giving my men enough time to form their shield wall. But very worrisome indeed. Gearhawk has pushed his Elector pikemen into the mix. Oh, it looks like he's going to withdraw them, which is good. But if he pushes them up the slopes, I didn't bring any pikemen, and I probably should have. So I really just don't have anything to combat them. Nice hits there with the catapult, though. Not even sure. I think that's my catapult as well. Yeah, Azrian does have a little bit more ammo, but not too much. And huzzah, we have claimed the gates over here. Hohenmaster, he brought his mercenary Swiss halberdiers over here to try to stop us from claiming the gates, but Azrian's pike infantry managed to stop them and save my general so that I could capture the gates. And here come the the Trier Knights back inside the settlement. And this is going to be a big problem for the defenders, for the attackers, because, like I said, aside from their general's bodyguards, they don't have any more cavalry. And these pikemen should be able to beat these Swiss halberdiers anyways. Oh no, he's gonna charge them right onto the pikes. Ah, that's not good. Oh my goodness, a massive slaughter ensues here. Oh, it's like a mass suicide. Oh, I didn't even see that during the battle. Oh, they're gonna break too. Oh, that's it. That's it for that unit. Wow. So yeah, well done to this pike infantry. Up to 148 kills now. Very, very nice. And here we go. I've got some of my Knights of Trier over here. We've only got a few units of archers that don't have any more ammo and a very depleted unit of Elector Knights. Now, a lot of my charge did kind of get stopped by the ruins of that tower, but I feel like in prolonged melee, my Knights of Trier should persevere here. Looks like the crossbows are holding pretty well in prolonged melee now that I didn't really get a good charge off on them. But yeah, the levy archers have already broken. So I think it's all down to these Elector crossbow infantry now. Let's take a look at their stats here. They've already gotten 254 kills, which is insane. Melee damage is low. They do have some good melee defense, which is nice to see. So yeah, I guess they can hold their own for quite a while. But what did I do with my other unit of cavalry? I think I just brought it to the center? Or no, I only had one unit, that's right, because the other one I charged in early on. But Azrian with the Knights of Trier, I'm not sure if he's going to go after these Ikochur footmen, but I probably wouldn't charge into them. In shield wall, he's not going to really get much done. And my crossbows are almost out of ammo, and that is very concerning. Because Hohenmaster has about half ammo on all of his archers still left. And over here we are struggling to hold back these pikes. And Gearhawk, annoyingly, as soon as I try to pull back to get some shots off, he just pulls his pikes back out of range of the catapult and the archers. Which is smart. He's very aware with them, which is good. They've got an even 100 kills so far. So let's take a look at the man count again. So it's 2,300, 2,300 once again. So just dead even this entire battle so far. Half an hour still left in the match as well. Forming back into shield wall with my Trier sword infantry. Let's go ahead and take a look at how we're doing over here. Yeah, so we're really pushing hard with our cavalry over on this flank. The only problem is Gearhawk, he does have his Elector Halberdiers that are blocking us from flanking around, but luckily Azrian's bringing his pike militia over, so they should be able to best the Elector men-at-arms. But again, Gearhawk also still having quite a bit of ammo, and Hohenmaster having about half ammo on all of his archers. And yeah, I'm desperately just trying to get rid of those pikemen. Just firing with all my ammo that I have left. Because as soon as they push into these swords, the swords are basically useless. Here they come pushing back through the spear wall. Hold, brave men of Trier, hold! Fight to the last man. And yes, the pikes do break, but I think they do annoyingly return to the battle. Yeah, there you go. They are returning. And I think he still has one more unit. Or these are the Landsknecht. Yeah, just overrunning my position here. Look at that, just charging right through my men. What little units I still have here are trying to hold the tide, but there's just too many of them at this point. Like a handful of men. Yep, that's probably them that have broken. And that's a bit concerning. I've got to pull back most of my forces, and luckily I was aware of that, and I have pulled them back. So it's really only this unit here of Trier sword infantry that are still holding the line here. Pretty even casualties compared to the Pavis Bergmannen, but here comes the other unit of Landsknecht and a unit of Swiss Halberdiers to break this position. We've also got the pikes bearing down from behind. But yeah, so this is pretty much what we're left with here. If we kind of take a zoom out of the entire city. So down to 2,100 men for both of us, 2,100 to 2,100. It is a little bit into our favor, but this is still dead even with 28 minutes left to go. But we are holding. I have a little bit of ammo left on a couple of my crossbow units, and this one actually still has full health, so that is excellent. And we're saving our elite Elector's Guard and men-at-arms for the final stand, basically. But yeah, oh man, numbers just dropping so rapidly on these swords here. They're actually being targeted by Gear's archers or his crossbows. So I'm trying to pull them away and then get them to face the crossbows so that they at least have their shields in front of them. I'm kind of just daring Gearhawk to come up here. It looks like he is moving his general's bodyguard up, but I quickly move these swords back into their original position. But they're not even in shield wall yet. You can just hear the thuds and thwacks of the archers, or the arrows just coming down against them. And I'm actually being fired upon from behind as well, so I don't know if that's Hohen's archers. Yes, it is. I've got some Pavis Ambratsutzen right in behind me firing, and then in the front I've actually got all of these Elector crossbows firing as well. But yeah, it's kind of died down, not too exciting, so I'm going to make another little cut here, guys, and then once we hit the final attack, well, the final approach for the keep, then I will bring it back to you. Alright guys, welcome back to the final phase of the battle. I think this will be the last cut, and Gearhawk has actually moved a lot of his crossbows into the town center, and I just did not have the units to hold over here once again, so he's actually pushed 2 of his Elector crossbow infantry right into the center to challenge us. Now, my Trier sword infantry should be able to win that engagement against them. However, this opens up the possibility for the generals to get involved, for the pikemen and the Elector guard to get in here as well. Yeah, you can see the pikemen are pushing forwards. Getting some nice hits, though, on the pikemen. Gearhawk again pulling them back down the ramp to keep them away. And yeah, here come my Elector Knights. They want some revenge for all of the lives lost here. Getting a nice rear charge into the Elector crossbow infantry. Excuse me, guys. A little sneeze there. But yeah, turning right in around to get rid of these 2 units of crossbow infantry, or sorry, this other crossbow infantry unit as well. But 2 in total will have routed. So we quickly regain control of the center again. You can see the flag went back up, which is excellent to see. And again, it's pretty close to dead even. We've got about 1,500 men towards, well, 1,460 to 1,660. So now they do outnumber us by about 200 men. That's basically because over here, Azrian and Gearhawk had a little bit of a duel. It was Azrian's cavalry and his pike militia against Gearhawk's halberdiers and his crossbows, and as you can see, Gearhawk's crossbow halberdier combo won out. And actually, these are the halberdiers over here who are victorious. They are moving in and around, and Azrian's cav is right there, but looks like he did notice those units, or sorry, those halberdiers, and are pulling them away. And it looks like he actually may be going for a charge on these spears here. These Pavis Bergman, and they are not in spear wall, so this actually may be a pretty deadly charge. And they're moving as well. Wow, yeah. Just running right through that unit. Excellent use of the cavalry there inside the settlement. I'd be shocked if that doesn't break them. There we go. Yep, they're broken. They may return to the battlefield, though. And yeah, Hohenmaster, he realizes that his Landschnet are not in a position to help, but it doesn't matter. Gearhawk, he just goes and charges right into this unit of Eco-Chier footmen. And their numbers are dropping quite a bit as well. Now, I don't know what else he would be going for. I think he's just trying to pull out of that engagement. And my cavalry is now free as well to kind of run amok. And yeah, another good rear charge into the Eco-Chier footmen there. And yeah, I'm going for this unit. They are trying to form their spear wall, but they've got so few men that it doesn't even matter. They're just going to die. He was trying to capture this little extra capture point here, but I did not allow him to do that. And here we go, actually. I keep zooming out because I think that it's over, but Azrian still going ham with his cavalry, getting in behind the Pavis Bergman and then back into the Eco-Chier footmen over there. And he may actually break that unit as well, but his cavalry is very depleted at this point. And Hohenmaster is moving to support that unit with his pikemen. But, oh yes, oh, I gotta pause this, I forgot. We've got a unit of Eco-Chier footmen over here who are completely vulnerable and alone. And we're about to get a very nice double charge on either side of this poor unit. So there goes Azrian's cavalry really hitting hard in behind the footmen, and then my cavalry is going to just push in just as they turn around to face the oncoming threat, and they are just sandwiched. between the two elite units of the Knights of Trier. And I believe we put that back on play. I think that was enough to break this. I think they were full health, if I remember correctly. And look at that, they've got 1 kill so far against the cavalry. Oh, and they have actually stabilized, but there they go. They are wavering again. 2 kills, 3 kills. The Knights of Trier, Fraser, and Fox are breaking as well, so I'm not sure if we're going to be able to, or if that was enough to actually get them to break. Yeah, there we go. The Knights of Trier for Asrian have broken. Come on, Eco Chair Footman. Yes, there we go. They have routed, and I'm just going to make sure that they do not come back. So, yeah, like I said, this is just back and forth, back and forth. Now we actually have more men than they do. We have 1,300 to their 1,283. And here we go. I've kind of made this little pathway, almost daring the mercenary Swiss halberdiers to come on through so we can attack them from either side. And I think that I actually still have some crossbow ammo as well, so I'm going to be firing down onto the mercenary Swiss halberdiers. Come on, come in. Come into the town center if you dare. Yeah, it looks like he's not interested in doing that just yet. What do the the attackers have left? They've got the Elector Guard over here. Of course, the Archbishop is still alive, and Ulrich von Manderschied, or Manderschied. And looks like Hohenmaster, he's got a lot of his archers with ammo still left, which is the main problem. I do have my cavalry left, though, which is good. And it looks like we were getting a bit of a general snipe over here. I'm not sure if that's what he was headed for, but then he changed his mind. Yeah, just kind of waiting to see exactly what's going on. I don't think I want to make another cut, though, yet. And I'm just slowly moving my cavalry in and around these trees here, or sorry, these buildings, to try to keep them away from the pikemen. And we are actually firing down on this unit of pikemen. Oh my goodness, that was a disgusting volley. Yeah, so losing a lot of men as they come close to the keep, where our remaining crossbows have a little bit more ammo left to finish, hopefully finish off these. Are these the Landstadt? Yes, they are the Landstadt. Or the Landsknecht, I should say, not Landstadt. And they are running. What are they running from? Anything? Looks like they are pulling back. My cavalry is still hidden, though, which is good. Oh, yes, we've got the dismounted Elector's Guard coming in here. Yes, I forgot. However, they are being targeted a little bit from the crossbows. But here's my cavalry. Big mistake. Yep, charging right onto the pikes. Nice. Yeah, they got their pikes down just in time. So that was a little bit frustrating, but what can you do? You win some and you lose some. Hohenmaster just about out of ammo, and then he's going to be forced to push in. I've got my V for victory signal over here, but my men don't look like they're going to be victors. They're pretty depleted at this point in the face of these halberdiers. And I guess we just don't have any more ammo. At least I don't. And please tell me I don't charge into those halberdiers. No, I do not. So it looks like I'm just going to bring them back into the town center at this point. And yeah, that Elector Guard, really disappointing, getting 6 kills before wavering themselves. Now, granted, it probably was the fault of the crossbows, but they just did not perform as well as I was hoping they would. But they do look amazing. my Knights of Trier are just holding back, waiting to see what the Elector Knights do. And, oh, my cavalry is back, which is good. Not exactly sure what I'm going to do with them, though. Guess we'll find out. And Azrian Fox is actually focusing these pikes once again with his archers. And there we go. They've turned away, so I think I am going to try and activate my cavalry quickly enough. They are pulling back where the crossbows are. Yeah, so no, I didn't capitalize on that, which is too bad. The Elector Guard is holding. They've got 35 men left, 20 kills, so they are trying to redeem themselves. But 8 minutes left in the battle. So for those of you guys that have stuck through to the end, I really appreciate it. Down to 1,000 men each, pretty much. Well, they've got about 100-man advantage on us.
Our men have given up and are running for
So
their
still pretty much dead close, dead even. The balance of power is slipping a little bit out of our favor at this point. Hold my Knights of Trier in the face of all of these foes. And the Elector Guard did come back from routing. But we got some of the Pavi's crossbows that have used up their ammo, along with a depleted unit of Ikorchir footmen that should finish them off. And here we go. I think this is the final charge. And we got some final volleys coming in from the Holy Roman Empire as well. And I see my cavalry coming in. There we go. Springing onto these Pavi's crossbows very, very quickly. The Ikorchir footmen are pushing in, but it looks like Hohenmaster has changed his mind. He kind of wants to get his footmen into battle, but actually they are wavering right now, and I should be able to eliminate those Pavi's crossbows pretty easily. But we've still got the Elector Guard over here and the Halberdiers to deal with, which I think is what's mainly pushing the balance of power out of our favor. Here we go. It looks like we've got Ulrich von Manderschied pushing forwards. I think he's trying to come and flank around. I did push away from those crossbows because I wanted to get rid of the Landschnet. And they probably... Yeah, they did return, but there we go. Nice charge into those archers, the Pavi Zambrensutzen. And then quickly just turning around and getting rid of these pesky Landsknecht. And then I've got to quickly turn around again and get into the backs of this last unit of Pavi Zambrensutzen. Just causing mayhem with these Knights of Trier. They are up to 460 kills. But yeah, here comes the Emperor's Hairchild pushing in. So Ulrich has got to make sure that these Knights of Trier do not see the end of this battle. And what are we down to now? 958 to 984. So again, this has just been dead even the entire battle. But Hohenmaster, he's got to charge. He's got to push in here. Like, he's throwing one unit in at a time, which is good because I know he's trying to rest his soldiers, but they're just going to be easily overpowered by my fresh Trier sword infantry here. And yeah, somebody's firing on my general, which is not cool. It's not cute, guys. Not cute. But yeah, again, I'm just holding on the flanks with the Trier sword infantry. But at this point, Gearhawk probably could just push in with his general, who is actually way back here, the Archbishop of Trier. And I think Azrian is firing at Manderschied with what's left of his crossbows, the Trier crossbow infantry. And yeah, my general really taking a beating there. So I don't know what archers were firing on them. I think it was this unit of archers over here, the Elector crossbow infantry. Yeah, I would make another cut here, but I feel like they're gonna come charging in any minute. There's only, you know, less than 4 minutes left on the clock, so... And we've got the Archbishop of Trier over here. I'm not sure what Asrian's general is planning to do. Guess we'll find out. I think I'm going to try and move my knights out of the way, and there we go. A nice solid charge into the Ikorchur footmen. And then I'm quickly going to fill in the gap after the general finishes his charge there, but I'd be shocked if that didn't waver them. Charging in my crossbows that I've used up their ammo as well. And there goes the Archbishop flying headlong into the crossbows, but Ulrich von Manderschied, he's pushing in as well to get rid of Asrian's general. And they must be pushing in over here. Yes, they are. So finally, the mercenary Swiss halberdiers with the dismounted Elector Guard have created an arrow. So this actually just mitigates my V for victory. There's no point in even forming it at this stage. And you know what? I probably don't even have enough men to form it, so... Swiss halberdiers over here doing some work. And then over here, the Elector Guard slaughtering what's left of my poor Trier sword infantry. And some charges. I'm not sure, but I think that's from my general. Yes, it is. Getting some really decent charges there. And I'm following it up with my unit of Elector men-at-arms. And there goes my general, so... Yeah, not looking good for us. The balance of power really slipping out of our favor now. But it is a very, very close battle. 714 to 762 men. And I'll do something a little different for this epic battle. Usually I kind of make a cut before the battle actually ends. But I will put up the end results screen showing you, you know, the kills of the different units in kind of a screenshot format so that you guys can see that. Because it'd be interesting to see, you know, total kills on those crossbows. They must have gotten a ton of kills. 163 for this one. 422 for this Pavis Ambratsutzen over here. Yeah, here comes the Archbishop, so... Yeah, it's clear that Ulrich von Manderschied is going to be able to get into the center keep. But historically, he did not make it into the keep. He did do a significant amount of damage, though, to the settlement, to the city. He destroyed a lot of the Roman ruins, and actually, kind of a lot of the archbishops got a sour taste in their mouth afterwards and stopped helping him in his exploits. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this battle. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you'd like to see more of this content in the future, and I will see you in the next one.